In this video, I'm going to show an overview of the GUI templates for Popochiu 2 Beta 1. In this update, we introduced or created some templates you can use to change the way players interact with the game. And those are inspired by the 9 Verbs interface of the LucasArts games, the interface of the classic Sierra graphic adventures, and the one that Popochiu has been using until now by default, which is the two-click context-sensitive interface, which basically makes you interact with things with left click or right click, depending on the context. So to start, I have this little scene where I can interact with the door, the drawer, and the toy car, and an inventory item for the toy car. If we click here on the setup button, it will show the Popochiu or the setup pop-up, sorry. And here you can select the template that you want to use. You can change it anytime. So we are going to start with the 9 Verb template of LucasArts. And it allows players to interact with the game using one of these 9 verbs here. And I'm going to show you how to start with it. So if we run the game, we will see that the interface shows the 9 verbs in the LucasArts style with the inventory here on the bottom right. It doesn't have any elements right now, and a button to open the settings pop-up. In this template, you move the player by clicking anywhere on the scene, and if you click or right click anywhere, it will make the character move. If you click on elements or objects, the character will try to move to the walk point or walk to point of the object. And if you right click on objects, it will try to execute the suggested command or suggested verb. And if it doesn't have a suggested verb or command, it will execute the walk action because it's the default one or the fallback of all the actions an object can have. So in order to define behaviors to those things or to react to those verbs, I'm going to open the script for the door. And to know which are the available commands for a GUI template, you can click here on the UI tab. This is a new thing in Popochiu 2. And it will open the graphic interface scene, the scene that it's been using, but it's being used by the plugin to render the graphic interface. And here you can click on the commands button and it will open the script that you can modify in order to put your own fallbacks or your own default reactions to verbs. If we run the game and if I select a verb here, for example, pick up, and then I click on the door, you will say this thing, and this is the default reaction of the character to the pickup action. The other actions also have that. So if we try to execute those things in each object, the character will react to that. So the way you can add reactions to those verbs is using these methods, not the ones in this script, but using these names to code your own reactions to those commands. So in this case, in the door, I'm going to add a reaction to the look at verb. So I can write on underscore and then the name of the action or the function that it's defined here. In this case, it's on look at. And I'm going to paste the code that I already have for this interaction. In the same way, I can go to a room and open the script for the toy car and create a method for the pickup command. And I'm going to put the code here. And as I said, the pickup or the name of the command, it's taken from here. The way this works, it's if you open the base script of the 9 Verb commands, you'll see that you have defined this, or it has defined these actions here with enums. And in the init function, you say to the plugin or Popochiu which will be the function that it has to use to execute when the command is triggered. And in scripts, inside the scripts, Popochiu adds a on underscore prefix to the name of that function in order to make it work. If we run the game, we will see that we can now look at the door, and GoDue will react to that, and we can pick up the toy car and it will be added to the inventory. At the moment, the beta has a bug. The inventory item is there, and if we click on it, the cursor will change, but as soon as we leave the button, it will go back to the default texture, or basically it will hide the toy car texture, but the item is already selected. So if we click here, it will try to use the toy car in the door, and the same for the drawer. If we right click, it will unselect the item, and then it will go back to the default behavior because the item is not selected anymore. And before going to the Sierra template, I will show you that you can, in this template, if you see the name or the hover text that shows where the cursor is now, at the moment, it's following the cursor when we put it on top of objects in the scene. And if we change this to classic sentence, it will behave as it did, or it does, in the classic LucasArts games. So it will show the text in the top of the bottom bar. And that's all for the LucasArts template. Now I'm going to click on setup to change the template. It will show me this, or show this warning, because you cannot change the template while the graphic interface is open. That is because what Popochiu does when you change the template is that it will remove all the folders and files in the graphic interface folder, and it will create a copy of the original files of the template and then put those copies in the graphic interface folder. So basically it will delete all the changes that you have in these files to put the new ones there. We are going to try to improve this in coming versions, because probably you won't want to lose any change you did to a template. But at the moment, this is how it works. So then once I close the graphic interface I can open the setup pop-up. I'm going to click on the Sierra template. It uses the walk, look, interact, and talk commands, and we will see how easy it is to change the way we implemented the previous commands in the scripts to adapt to the new template. So if we run the game, we will see that the way players interact with the game changed completely. In this template, you use the right click to cycle through the commands of the interface. You can walk, and in this case, GoDue will only walk when the walk action is selected. And if we select the look action, it will try to look at things. The same will happen with interact and with talk. And you can change the verbs using this top bar here, and the inventory is in a separate pop-up. And in the settings, you can do other things that I will show later. So in order to the game to react to the new template, I'm going to open the door script. And before that, I'm going to close this and this, and I'm going to open the UI tab, then the commands script. So you can see the way you have to name those functions. So we have walk, look, interact, and talk. I'm going to open the pop-up, the script for the door, sorry. And for look, you have to use look basically, or just look instead of look at. And for interactions, I'm going to use interact, or to pick up the toy car, I'm going to use interact. So if we run the game, we will be able to look at the door using the look verb and pick up the toy car using the interact command. If I open the inventory, In the Sierra template, you have these buttons to interact with the objects in the inventory. You can look at them or talk to them and use this hand to pick them and grab them, and then you will be able to use those objects in the scene as are used to in the previous versions of Popochiu. And with right click, we deselect the toy car. And in addition to this, in this template, you can change the speed of the text and change the way texts are presented to players. You can also do this in the settings or opening the settings and selecting how text will be presented. But in this template, we added these options here, so you can check how to do the same in other templates or in your custom interface in case you want. Portrait is not working here. I'm going to use caption. We are going to fix this in the beta 2. And if we go back to the game and try to look at the door, you will see that the text speed changed and that the texts are or the dialogue lines said by Verbs are now rendered in the bottom of or at the bottom of the screen. And that's all for this template. And finally, I'm going to close this and this. I'm going to change to the 2-click context sensitive. This is the template that Popochiu used until now, the default one. And basically, with that template, you interact with things by left clicking or right clicking or middle clicking objects. So if we run the game, we will see that the interface changes. I can click anywhere to make the character move. If I right click anywhere, it doesn't do anything. And if I click on objects, it will try to interact with them. And if I right click on objects, it will try to look at them. And the inventory is in the top left corner, and the settings bar is in the top right corner. I'm going to close the game. I'm going to open the script of the door. And here, as we did in previous versions, I'm going to put the reaction to the look interaction on the right click function, on right click. And for the toy card, the interaction will occur in the on click function, which is the one called when you left click on things. So if I run the game, you will be able to right click the door and Verbs will react to that. And if we click on the toy car will be added to the inventory. And the inventory is in the top left corner. I can click on the object and then try to use it. And if I click anywhere on the screen, it will deselect or unselect the item that was selected in the inventory. So that's the 2-click context sensitive. It doesn't need more explanation because it's the one that Popochiu have been using until now. So another thing that I want to show is a quick overview on the custom template. I'm going to open the setup pop and then select custom, use this GUI template, okay. And basically this is an empty node where you can put the things you want to add to the interface. We have these buttons to add components to the GUI. For example, you can add the dialogue text. This is the one used to show the dialogue lines of the characters. And maybe I can use the hover text. Let's leave it there. And the inventory bar, so you can see that the toy car entered the inventory. You can modify this as you want. If you open this in, it will allow you to change the appearance of the bar, or you can try to change the behavior. We are going to improve this for beta 2 or before releasing 2.0. And all the things that are inside the graphic interface folder use their own resources. So for example, if you open here the theme, you will be able to change the appearance of everything, and this won't affect the original theme of the template. So you can play with this, and it won't you won't lose your changes if, for example, you update to beta 2 or a newer version of the plugin. That's the idea. So if I run the game, the interactions will still work because they are the the code it's in the onClick and the onRightClick functions, and that's the default functions that Popochiu, or the fallback function that Popochiu uses when it tries to execute a command from a GUI template. So the way it works is it tries to call the method of the custom command, for example, on lookat or on pickup. If that method doesn't exist, it will try to call the fallback of the button pressed in the mouse. So in the default case, you will try to call on click or on right click. Sorry, if you right click at the mouse, and if it doesn't has a custom behavior, it will call the fallback that it's in the script of the commands of the GUI template. And that's all for the custom template. To finish, I'm going to show you how you can handle interactions by using a match against the current command, or the command that is currently selected in the GUI. So I'm going to open the setup pop-up. I'm going to change to the LucasArts, or sorry, to the 9verb template. And what this is done, I'm going to open the door script, and instead of using this, I'm going to copy this code here, and in the on click, because I'm going to use the click, I'm going to add a match against current command, current command, and here I can use the 9verb commands class, then access the commands constant, and here I can use the lookat constant. To know how to do this, you can open the UI tab, then click on commands, and then holding Control, you can click on the name of the class it extends from, and this is the base class for the 9verb commands, and here are the identifiers that you can use to compare in that match. So this is from where I took the thing to compare against with. I'm going to open the script for the toy car, and I'm going to do the same, but instead of comparing against lookat, you can use pickup, or let's say I will allow players to pick up the toy car also with using the use command. So if we play the game, you will see the 9verb interface. I can click on lookat and click on the door, and it will react as it did in the first part of the video. And if I use the use command, I can pick up the toy car as we did using the pickup command at the beginning, or at the first part of the video. So you can also code things in this manner. This is very useful if you want to have the same reaction for different commands on specific object, so you don't have to copy the same code on different functions. And that's all. Sorry for my messy English. So yeah, thanks for watching. Now we have a Ko-fi page. You can help us buying one or with a subscription. Thanks to Edmundito for being our first monthly supporter.